What if the flavors that once defined entire civilizations simply vanished from our plates? From Roman villas to Egyptian temple gardens, ancient farmers grew herbs so powerful, so versatile, that losing them was like erasing a chapter of culinary history. Let us step back into those gardens and rediscover what we have been missing. Few plants in history have been as famous or as mysteriously lost as Silphium. Silphium cyrenaicaum. In classical antiquity, this golden-flowered herb was worth its weight in silver. Ancient Greek physicians prescribed it for everything from coughs to childbirth pains, while Roman chefs shaved it over roasted meats like a precious spice. Silphium's flavor was somewhere between fennel, garlic, and something entirely its own, a taste so intoxicating it became a luxury export across the Mediterranean. Silphium grew only in a narrow strip of North Africa, making it the ultimate limited edition ingredient. Farmers tried transplanting it, but like a diva who refuses to perform outside her favorite theater, Silphium simply would not grow anywhere else. By the 1st century AD, demand had driven it to extinction. Imagine basil and truffle oil rolled into one, then imagine never tasting it again. That was the tragedy of Silphium. To medieval monks, rue, Ruta graveolens, was the herb of protection against pests, disease, and even evil spirits. In the ancient world, it was equally respected. Roman legionaries carried sprigs to ward off contagion during military campaigns, and Greek athletes chewed the leaves for clarity of vision before competitions. Its taste? Strong, bitter, unapologetically medicinal, like parsley that has been through a hard life. Cooks used rue sparingly, blending it with honey and wine to temper its sharpness in sauces and stews. Physicians swore by its power to stimulate digestion and ease joint pain, while philosophers noted its ability to clear the head. Over time, rue's intensity became its downfall. Modern palates, raised on milder herbs, found it too aggressive, and it retreated to the margins of cuisine. Yet for a plant that repelled insects, flavored food, and doubled as medicine, rue deserves far more respect than it gets. In Roman kitchens, lovage, levisticum officinale, was the flavor bomb that could transform an entire pot of stew. Imagine celery, with a gym membership, and an ego. Every part of the plant, from leaves to roots, packed a punch. Wealthy Roman households grew it in villa gardens, while medieval monastery plots kept it alongside mint and sage for its digestive benefits. Lovage was not just about taste. Physicians recommended it for kidney complaints, bloating, and sore throats. Even the hollow stems had a second life, candied as sweet treats or used as drinking straws for spiced wine. This was the kind of plant that worked hard, both in the kitchen and the infirmary. But as imported spices like pepper and cinnamon captured Europe's imagination, lovage quietly slipped out of favor. Today, it survives in a few rural corners, waiting for the culinary world to remember just how indispensable it once was. Mentioned in the Bible, praised by Hippocrates, and cultivated in ancient temple gardens, hyssop, Hyssopus officinalis, was more than an herb. It was a symbol of purification. Its tiny purple flowers and aromatic leaves were used in both cooking and ceremony. Greek physicians brewed it into teas for respiratory ailments, while Roman cooks chopped it into salads and meat rubs. The taste was sharp, slightly minty, with a bitter edge, perfect for cutting through fatty dishes. But hyssop's value extended far beyond flavor. In an age before chemical cleaners, it was scattered on floors to freshen the air, burned as incense to ward off illness, and infused into vinegar as an all-purpose tonic. As urban life modernized, hyssop was replaced by commercial detergents, packaged teas, and artificial scents. For an herb that could clean the house, season the roast, and soothe the cough, its absence from modern gardens is almost criminal. Delicate, feathery, and mild, chervil, Anthriscus cerefolium, was the quiet aristocrat of the ancient herb world. Brought to Rome from the Caucasus, it quickly became a favorite in imperial kitchens. Roman chefs used it to brighten egg dishes, soups, and fish, while physicians valued it for its gentle diuretic and detoxifying properties. Its subtle flavor, somewhere between parsley and anise, made it a natural choice for springtime recipes. The problem? Chervil hates heat. It thrives in cool, moist climates and bolts at the first sign of summer sun. Ancient farmers grew it in shaded plots, harvesting tender leaves in early spring. As farming shifted toward high-yield crops and uniform production, chervil's delicate needs became a liability. Today, it is known mostly to French chefs, but in its prime, it was the sign of a refined table, a whisper of flavor where others shouted. Today, coriander, Coriandrum sativum, is common enough in certain cuisines, but in the ancient world, it was a superstar across continents. Egyptians placed coriander seeds in tombs as offerings for the afterlife, believing it aided digestion even beyond death. Romans imported it in bulk, crushing seeds into sauces and wines, while Greek physicians prescribed it for stomach complaints and as a breath freshener. The leaves, what we now call cilantro, were a polarizing flavor even then, fresh and citrusy to some, soapy to others. Yet its versatility made it indispensable. Seeds flavored bread, leaves topped fish, roots were pounded into pastes for medicinal salves. Over time, coriander fell victim to shifting tastes in Europe, where sweeter herbs like basil gained favor. But for thousands of years, this was the spice cabinet's MVP, aromatic, medicinal, and ready to travel the Silk Road, if you let it. In ancient Rome, fennel, Feniculum vulgare, was more than food. It was freedom. Gladiators chewed its seeds before entering the arena, believing it gave them courage and strength. Greek athletes did the same before the Olympic Games. The plant's tall, feathery fronds and anise-scented seeds were a common sight in villa gardens and along rural roadsides. Culinarily, fennel was everywhere. Seeds in bread, bulbs roasted with meat, fronds in salads. Medicinally, it was a cure-all, soothing digestion, aiding milk production in nursing mothers, and even used as an early appetite suppressant. Roman farmers loved its resilience. It grew with little care and self-seeded year after year. But as imported spices flooded Europe and modern farming prioritized uniform vegetables, fennel lost its central place in everyday meals. Today it lingers in a few traditional dishes, a shadow of the herbal empire it once ruled. Anise, Pimpinella anisum, was the dessert herb of the ancient world. Romans baked it into sweetbreads, Egyptians steeped it into fragrant teas, Greek healers prescribed it to calm coughing fits. Its flavor, a licorice-like sweetness, was unlike any other herb and became synonymous with luxury banquets and festive feasts. More than a treat, anise was medicine, both in leaf and seed form. It eased digestion after heavy meals and freshened breath in an era when dental care was, let's say, minimal. Roman soldiers carried anise seeds in their rations, chewing them on long marches for both flavor and stamina. As sugar became more common in Europe, anise's role as a sweetener and aromatic faded, replaced by candy and imported spices. Yet for centuries, it was the final note of a perfect meal, light, fragrant, and good for the body. Known to the Romans as satureja, savory was the herb of community and celebration. Pliny the Elder claimed it stimulated appetite and conversation, making it a fixture at social feasts. Its peppery, thyme-like flavor was strong enough to season meats, beans, and bread without additional spices. Ancient farmers grew two varieties, Satureja hortensis, summer savory, quick-growing and delicate, and Satureja montana, winter savory, hardy enough to survive frosts. Both were valued for their antibacterial properties, which helped preserve foods before refrigeration. Savory also held a reputation as an aphrodisiac, giving it a place in both kitchens and love potions. When pepper and chili arrived in Europe, savory's fiery role in cooking diminished. But for centuries, it was the spice that brought people together, both at the table and beyond it. In ancient Greece, marjoram, Origanum majorana, was a symbol of joy and prosperity. Often woven into wedding garlands, its sweet floral aroma flavored stews, meats, and wines in both Greek and Roman kitchens. Physicians recommended it for headaches, respiratory issues, and to lift the spirits, a herbal antidepressant, long before the term existed. Marjoram thrived in the warm, dry hills of the Mediterranean, making it a staple for farmers who valued low-maintenance crops with high reward. It dried well, retaining its fragrance for months, and was traded across the empire. Over time, oregano, its stronger, wilder cousin, overshadowed marjoram in many dishes. But in its prime, marjoram was the elegant note that balanced robust flavors, a reminder that sometimes the quietest herbs have the most to say.